Alrighty guys, Isaac here bringing us another Dragon Ball Legends ToP guide video. This is going to be in regards to Season 54. So last season, we ended off at rank 3,399, which is honestly pretty good for us since we did get the title for being the top cut and everything. Gotenks did amazing as the newest Zenkai addition to our regeneration team, but Yellow Piccolo did not perform well at all. And given the comments, he did not perform well for you guys either. So we will no longer be using him from here on out unless he gets a Zenkai. Hopefully that is a relief to you guys. So before we get into the actual segments of the video, there will always be timestamps in the description down below. That way you guys can go ahead and get to where you guys need to go. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to be talking about is our pathing. And as per usual, the circled fights are going to be the most important fights, right? Because those circled fights are where you're going to get the most points possible. It increases in increments of 5. So on your 5th fight, your 10th fight, 15th, 20th, 25th, all that good stuff, those are going to be the fights that matter the most. So for the most part, you won't see me deviate off of the circled fights, but as for the regular pathing that you see in the blue color right here, those can differ from season to season, but I usually do make sure to land on the circled fights. So now let's talk about our tips and tricks, and the first tip that I always give you guys before starting any ToP season is to increase your friendship rank. That is amongst the most important thing that you can do. We can go ahead and take a look at Gotenks right here. He is at friendship rank 10. That's where you want to get your units to. That's where it caps out at, right, in terms of the benefit that you're going to be getting. But getting that friendship rank up increases your stats across the board, and literally on health, strike attack, blast attack, all of that good stuff, specifically in ToP. This won't help you out in any other game mode, but for ToP it's really important. As you can see right here, his key restore speed is 2,612. If we look at his regular stats, his key restore speed is 2,488. Again, you will see that difference across all of your stats. Alright, so now let's talk about the tricky fights of the season, right? So this is the first fight we're going to cover, is this Green Gogeta stage. So you want to kill him first, because he will stun and super attack you on turn 3. I do like going for Janemba last here, since he will stun you upon receiving a Blast Arts. Then there's also this Vegeta Clan stage. You want to kill Mai first, since she will stun you at the end of turn 2. Make sure to kill the buff Trunks before Vegeta, since he will gain 100% to his super upon a Vegeta ally death. Now this is one of the more difficult stages in our pathing right here, this Ultra Vegeta stage. So you want to kill Tapion first, since he will reduce a unit super gauge to 0, and you do want to be cautious of the Ultra Vegito himself, since he does have a counter against Blast Arts. Next we have the Kid Gohan stage. This one's pretty obvious. Kill Kid Gohan first, and if possible try to kill Beerus in turn 1 as well, since he will stun you at the start of turn 2. Next we have another Sagas from the movie stage, Tapion first again, because of him reducing your super gauge down to 0 at the start of turn 2. Then Turles, since he does inflict debuffs, and then I would say Dragon Fist Goku as your third targeted unit. Now we also see this Goku Black stage returning. I would target the blue Goku Black and then the yellow free-to-play one first, and then try to save the red corrupted Zahmas for the last unit, since he does inflict heavy debuffs upon death. You don't want to bring a yellow unit here. Now we have this Ultra Goku stage where you do come across the yellow Ultra Goku and the red Ultra Goku. Take out the yellow Sparking Goku first, since he will super on turn 2. He also has a high key restore speed, and then the blue Kaioken Goku, since he will super you on turn 3. Next we have the Shadow Dragon team. I would go for the supports first, as in the blue Sin Shenron and the yellow Sin Shenron, and then Ultra Omega last, as he is more durable, plus he buffs the team when he gets attacked below 50% HP. Next we have the Hera team. So target red Bojack first, since he supers towards the beginning of turn 2, and then purple Bojack, since he supers towards the end of turn 2. Do not make the same mistake as I did the last time we came across this fight. I try to go for the red Bojack and then Bujin before he stuns you, right? Because he will stun you on turn 2 as well. But by doing that, I ended up getting supered by the purple Bojack. You want to avoid the supers and just eat the stun. If in an ideal world, if you can get all 3 before any of that stuff procs, then kudos to you. But I don't think my team will necessarily be able to do that, so target the Bojacks. Now there are a couple teams that I do not recommend fighting at all, such as this team right here. You will not be able to avoid the super attack from the Gotenks, because that red Hercule increases all the key restore speed by 15%. You're not going to be able to outblitz them. If you have a character that stuns, you would still have to rely on RNG for it to actually hit the Gotenks. Just avoid the stage. There's also a couple stages in here like this, where you'll see Beerus and the purple LF Jiren on the same team. Both of those units can stun you. If there's a team where there's double stuns there, it's going to be a hard team to beat. Not only do they have double stuns here, Bergadmo will mitigate an attack, Emulate Goku will mitigate an attack. You probably aren't going to get through this team unless you have full-blown supers built up. Same thing right here, double stuns once again, right? The green God Topa will stun you, the purple Jiren will stun you. Another difficult fight. This is only a 3/5 stage, so you probably can just brute your way through it, but it's still annoying nonetheless. I don't recommend it. So moving on to our top teams here. First, we have the Ginyu Force team or the Frieza Force team, whatever you want to call them. I always recommend dipping into the lower tiers and picking up Revival Frieza for this team since he is a healer for Frieza Force, but this team is very easy to accumulate points. Although there's nothing too special about the units themselves besides them being in Z tier, right? Majority of these units reside right here. They kind of just work off of each other. Most of these units, you will see that for example, this purple Ginyu, if there are 3 or more other tag Ginyu Force or Frieza Force in your team, you'll get extra advantages or extra buffs within his kit. Obviously, right here on the right hand side, we do have the #1 player using them. The units themselves aren't that great, but the team is good. So next we have androids. Most of your units here are going to actually be in A tier, but they are in an amazing position this season nonetheless. Here we have the current rank 18 player using the red 18 and the Zenkai 16 combo. Those two work beautifully together since red 18 heals and 16 has a cover change that does not have a health restriction. I do recommend having the 16 at a Zenkai level 7 with all of his panels fully unlocked though, because if not, then he's going to fold pretty easily. He's a defensive type. He wants all the extra stats he can get. You can also bring in the yellow EX Zenkai Cell here as a safety net since he heals all android units by 3% on turn 3, and he's just a decent unit overall. Zenkai 13 is crucial here though, since that's your main form of DPS or damage per fight, right? Because he does get a guaranteed super attack at the start of the 3rd turn, plus he has a relatively high key restore speed, so that's always a bonus too. Alright, so next we have GT. This is a very safe team, especially with the inclusion of Super Baby 2. This player specifically is using the Tag 4s as well as the Ultra Omega Shenron, and if we actually take a look right here, all of those units are in C tier. So he's using 3 C tier units right here. I don't have the Tag 4s, so you can go ahead and swap them out for any one of these units that you see right here. Probably not Gogeta 4. I don't think Gogeta 4 is that great in ToP, but for example, like the Super Saiyan 4 Goku, the purple one, right? Even the Zenkai Legends Limited Yellow one or the Zenkai Green Full Power Super Saiyan 4 Goku would work as well. Again, just do not be afraid of picking up a couple lower tier characters if it's going to ensure your survival throughout the season. The blue Sin Shenron here is pretty strong though on a GT setup, as he will buff all of your GT allies. That's why I do have him included here, as well as the guy on the right hand side. Overall, this is going to be a very strong team for this season. So next we have a Saiyan team with Zahha. This is more of an obscure team, and I just want to break it down real quick. I think it was worth mentioning here. So Zahha and EX Namek Goku are your healers here. Young Nappa and EX Baby both have board-wide debuffs. And lastly, the Zenkai GT Goku and the Super Vegeta, both Zenkai units, get a super attack every other fight. The cooler movie units seem to just be filler units, but both have good health restoration. They're both in A tier, so I imagine each of them are easily replaceable if there's any specific unit that you had in mind to run over them, right? As Saiyans there's so much units in the tag that the replacements are seemingly endless. Like imagine if you wanted more super attacks, you can go ahead and easily do this, right? There's just a lot of options for you here. Alright, so next we have LOE. We have right here on the right hand side, I think it's a more optimal version of it, or a better version of it, right? But especially when it comes to points. But if you look over on my side, we have just a couple of replacements here with the blue Revival Frieza and the purple Zenkai LF Frieza instead of the Mecha Frieza, right? Which is going to be a little bit more safe. And so the reason why I wanted to put LOE on here is because I haven't seen them in a while, and this guy is in the top 200. Just like with the Ginyu Force team, again, you do see me bringing in the Revival Frieza as insurance since he is a healer. But Zenkai Full Power Frieza has a chance to super every fight if he gets hit with a Blast Art, so he is kind of a necessity. Chilled is also very nice here since his key restore speed is insanely high, and he does inflict debuffs. On my team, the LF purple Frieza also has insanely high key resource speed, so they'll be attacking together to quickly mow down those green units. There's just a lot of support to go around with this team, and none of your units here are in C tier. Everyone lies in either Z, S, A, or B tier. Alright, so last but not least, this is the regeneration team that we will be using, and I actually might put up a poll because I kind of want to use the androids team this season, but I'm not too sure. If we do end up running regeneration, this is the team we're going to be using. Look at how beefy it is. This is going to be probably one of our most safe teams that we've ever used, because we need to guarantee that 1000 ZC, not only for ourselves, but for all of you watching, right? We have 6 Zenkai units on here, 2 Z tier units, which are going to be our EXs that you do see on backup. We're going to use them when we know the fight is perfectly safe for them to be brought in. But other than that, a lot of these guys are well, do we have any S tier units? We have no S tier units. All these guys are A tier, right? And then we have 3 C tiers. Okay, so we have double healers, we have double blue or triple blues, no, quadruple blues, but 2 of the blues can get super attacks very, very frequently. That purple Janemba is going to be able to mitigate attacks as well as farm up his own super attacks, and we all know just how good that red 21 really is. But if you guys need any replacements for this team, let me know in the comments down below, because I know asking for a 6-man Zenkai team is a little bit demanding. And as for new characters, we didn't necessarily get a new character, but we got a new Zenkai in the form of the Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. So let's go to take a look at his ToP stats. His key resource speed is amazing, 2,820. That's amongst the highest that we've seen, I think, just at base. He does have a blue card and an ultimate right here. He does. So now let's go ahead and look at his tournament of power abilities. 50% to damage inflicted for 2 turns, plus 60 to key recovery. Didn't really need that now, did he? Plus 20% to strike damage, minus 35% to damage received, and at the start of the 3rd turn, you get 15% to special move gauge charge rate for 2 turns. You inflict any with attribute downgrades, a downgrade to the key recovery as well. And then the secondary ability is at the start of the battle, if there is an enemy tag regeneration, you get 20% to special move damage inflicted and 20% to ultimate damage inflicted. After receiving an attack own health is 50% or below, you upgrade your special move arts, cancel your attribute downgrades in abnormal conditions, and on ultimate arts hit, you inflict cat attack for 1 turn. So he kind of sucks. Honestly, I don't think he's worth using outside of just Zenkai buffing like a yellow fusion warrior. I guess he is worthwhile just because of his Z ability, but his kit is not that good, in my own opinion. Alright, so that being said, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for today's video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns related to ToP in general or this specific season, definitely feel free to drop them down in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later!